Hello, good evening and welcome to Upfront. Today, we get Upfront on perhaps the most controversial system that was supposed to make lives easier for Ghanaians and improve how government does its work. That is the GhanaPost GPS. Today, we will put to rest all the controversies surrounding this particular system that was rolled out a couple of weeks ago and has generated a lot of interest from all the sides. Your security, how easy and accessible this particular system is, and what's the relevance of even having it in the first place. We have summoned the Ministry of Communications, the Supervisory Ministry on this particular one, to come and give you all the answers. After this break, I'll tell you who my guest is from the ministry. You're welcome back, and I'm excited to be back here after some time off. Today, we're looking at what was much anticipated. It was launched big time, the National Digital Property Address System. And this is supposed to make your life easier for locations to be found across the country and boost emergency service delivery too. But already before people could download as many as they could and people across the country could actually get on board, some started raising concerns, especially from people with IT competence about the, not necessarily user-friendliness, about the security and how, what they call it, the cost of value for money issues that ought to be taken into consideration. We will be asking the Ministry of Communication to justify towards this project, justify the costs involved, and justify why we should all be signed on this particular project, and whose interest will it be for us to get it on board. My guest is the man who is the Deputy Communications Minister here in the Republic of Ghana. He's known. He has a long history of excellence in the private sector and interestingly got into politics along the line. He's a member of Parliament too. He's the gentleman who removed the Honorable Anna Tete from the Evutusunya, his constituency. Honorable George Anda. There's a first name, Nenyi George Anda. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening to your viewers, and congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you
I
so
can
much.
see that your ring is shining.
Oh, because it's new.
Fresh. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tim. Now, I mean, it's one controversial system in this country, to the point that everybody was excited to have had something that many governments have talked about, but only got rolled out by this particular government. Exactly what is the idea behind this National Digital Property Address System?
Thank you very much. I think if you recall, the period leading up to the 2016 elections, on the MPP campaign platforms, on several platforms, His Excellency, the Vice President, kept on talking about ways of formalizing the economy and making sure that we could rope in as many people as were participating in economic activity into a formalized economy. His Excellency the President has also been talking about the digital economy and how we can make sure that we fully participate and we get the benefits of GDTime. His Excellency the President has been talking about 3 pillars that we need to have in place for us to formalize the economy leading up to the digital economy. And these 3 pillars are having a robust, a relevant, a cost-effective national identification card system. That's the Ghana card that the National Identification Authority launched a couple of weeks ago. A precursor to the Ghana card working is a robust addressing system, which we launched the National Digital Property Addressing System. And then the third element is having an interoperability platform in place where individuals and businesses can transact financial activities seamlessly, irrespective of what banking partner they are on, or what mobile network operator they are on, or what payment system they are using. So the digital property addressing system is a means of identifying properties, be it residence, be it business properties, and having an individual say that this is my property, or this is where I reside, or this is where I work.
Okay.
It's a digital application. You need a smartphone, either on Android or iOS operating system or Windows operating system. And you download the app GhanaPost GPS. In Ghana, there's a lot of communal living. There are a lot of people that live in chamber and hall apartments. And so even though you can get one property with a gate, when you go inside that property, there will be different apartments where different individuals or different families stay. The system that we have, or the platform that government has acquired, enables everybody who lives in a house or lives in a kiosk, a 5x5 square meter space, a chamber and hall, gives the person the opportunity to download their residential address, or if you are doing any form of business, and even if it's a tabletop business, selling provisions, selling scratch cards, offering some service, once is a business that you're doing, even if in the space of 5x5 square meters, you can generate your business address. So when you download this app on your device, we ask citizens and residents to stand at their gate, if the gate is the entrance to your property, or to stand at your door, if the door is what gives you access to your chamber and hall, or to stand at the point where you can serve a customer, if it's a tabletop business that you're doing, and generate your address. So you enter your name, you enter a phone number, and to that phone number, a text message will be sent to you by the system. It will have a 4-digit PIN code, and that's a PIN code that you use to complete your process to generate your digital address. So you need to stand outside at your gate or outside at your door and generate this digital address. The digital address that you generate shows the region where you are in, it shows the district where you are in, and it gives you an area code. So for example, if I stay in Greater Accra region and it's La District, my digital address will start with GL to give you my area code, which would be like a 7-digit number, or if need be that I stay somewhere that is a flat, for example, and the doors are all aligned between the tenants and the landlord or the landlady, you can decide that floor 1 will be A, floor 2 will be B, etc., etc. So you can add as you wish to your digital address, depending on
you, the individual who's gotten the address.
Well, for example, if you stay in a flat, because you need to stand at the door, you know, a design of a flat, the doors will probably be all aligned. You understand?
Yeah.
So if you stand at your door on the first floor, you stand at the door on the second floor, you probably generate the same address because it's picking up your latitude and longitude.
Okay.
You understand? So the landlord and the tenants would have to agree that the first floor, whatever digital address you get, you can add A to the first floor, you can add B to the second floor, etc. The system would accept it. It's not a problem.
So it would not generate instantaneously this particular address.
It will generate an address, but because there are different layers
so it can
for that
generate
address,
the same address for like 3 people.
No, listen. It's about GPS coordinates.
Yeah.
You understand? You stand at a place, it picks up your coordinates from the ground. So if there are different elevations, the ground space is still the same.
Yeah,
you understand? So because there are different levels, you would have to do an A, B, or C to reflect the different levels.
And how do you do that? Do you, the individual, for example?
Yes, you just add.
If I'm on the ground floor,
yes,
I can decide that I'm adding A.
Well, you see, that's why I said that between you and the rest of the tenants and the landlord, you understand it. You have to agree because the landlord may have his own apartment and he may use the main gate, for his own apartment. Okay, he may have a flat okay, and he's rented out the flat. If that's the situation, then yes, between the landlord and the tenant, you can come to any form of agreement.
Is there a standard number for this particular address?
It's usually about 9 digits. 9 characters.
But
okay.
you can actually make room for a 10th.
Exactly. Yes. Once you agree among yourself to do what to
and
to
would
make
you have
that
to report to an external entity for the 10th, what they call it?
Yes, you have to inform GhanaPost that,
and they will do that for you.
They will assist you to do it. They will assist you to do it.
Okay, that's interesting. I've not gotten that clarity up until this particular time.
But I mean, this is a minor issue. You can even in the flats, okay, in the flats, you can stand
and have the same address.
You can stand at the left side of the flat. You can stand at the right side of the flat. So
and get a different address.
So in the event that a group of people decide that we want to use the same address, but we'll add an A, B, C, D, or whatever it is. I mean, it's the system can accommodate it.
Okay, but let me also be clear. In a household of 4 people, can there be different addresses for all these 4?
Well, it depends. When you say a household,
if they live in the same room, for instance,
the door that serves that apartment will be one. So if it's a family, okay, then yes, you expect that the family will use the same address.
The same address.
Okay.
So if I actually generate my address, it will come as the same one. If a different person tries to generate an address at the same place, would it be the same address?
Yes, it will be the same address.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes.
I get your point. Yeah. So how many people can get the same address?
It depends on how many people live in that house.
Do you know what I was thinking about? Then somebody can just come and stand in front of my house and get my address.
Well, if the person is standing in front of your house, then he knows your house already.
Yes.
So what is he going to use?
I mean, but I would have thought that my address is something that is private.
Let me finish the explanation and then you understand. Okay. So you can generate a business address. I mean, be it a big business, be it a tabletop business, you can still generate your address. Now, on the platform, apart from being able to generate a digital address, you have the opportunity to do navigation. So if you give me your digital address and I'm supposed to meet you somewhere, I can plug in your digital address into the navigation system and I'll get the directions to where you want me to meet you. And it will give me the estimated time, estimated travel time, take left, take right. If the streets are named, it will give me take a left on this street, take a right on this street, blah 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 blah. Okay. So then you don't face the prior experience of looking for that shoemaker, looking for that red building that may be painted white the next day.
People still do that these days.
A lot of people
with Google Map and all of the ones that
you see. Not everybody uses Google Maps.
Okay, I get you. Yes, of course, not everybody is up to. But it's also a part that we need to clarify because I mean,
if I may,
yes, no problem. I actually get your point.
Okay. Apart from the navigation, there's also the emergency services. So you can also get into the emergency services section, and you can request for support from the police. You can request for support from the fire service. You can request for support from the ambulance services.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay.
Now, Google Maps doesn't give you that.
Yeah, I know.
Google Maps doesn't give you a digital address. Google Maps gives you a navigation. You understand? So the GhanaPost GPS is not Google Maps. They are two separate things. It's like chalk and cheese. Okay. Now, you talked about, my understanding is like the validation of the address. So this says that this is my address.
Yeah.
GhanaPost is working with the utility companies. So it's working with Ghana Water Company, it's working with the Electricity Corporation of Ghana, it's working with the Waste and Sanitation collection agencies, it's working with the broadband access providers, it's working with the district and municipal assemblies. So that once you give your address, these utility companies will work with GhanaPost and the National Commission for Civic Education, who have a team that are going on property to property to validate their addresses and to do the mop-up. There's also, apart from the online version of generating the app, there's the offline version, because we want everybody to be able to have a digital address. But we know that not everybody has access to a smartphone, or not everybody has access to broadband. And so at the Ghana Post Service centers, we have deployed devices, and these devices have the data, the public data, that's the region, the district data, and we'll be able to generate the digital addresses in an offline mode. And so if you need that assistance, if you call on Ghana Post, they'll be able to give you that assistance. In addition, we are rolling out a USSD version in the next couple of weeks, I think in about the next week or two. And the USSD version means that those that don't have smartphones will be able to send a USSD code, okay, and then they'll be able to interact with a system to generate their digital address.
And the system can pick up their coordinates.
Yes, it will.
That way.
Yes.
Regardless of the.
Yeah. It's the offline mode. It's an app that is being developed. It's actually being tested now.
Okay, so let me be clear. When is that going to be rolled out?
Well, they are working towards the next week, but I think, to be realistic, let's say in about 2 weeks.
In about 2 weeks.
Yeah. So if it happens in a week, it's happy days.
And anybody can access it just with let's say a code that you text to a number.
With a USSD,
like
yes. Yes, it should be possible. All things being equal, yes.
Okay.
So now, when you get your digital address, you can now use that information, and when you are filling your form or you're providing your information for your national ID card or your Ghana card, you have to provide your digital address, your residential address. So then it serves absolutely.
Sorry, is it the residential address or the digital address?
Your residential, for the purpose of Ghana Post. Sorry, for the purpose of your Ghana card, I believe that the requirement is your residential address.
Yes.
There's other documentation that you'll be filling that you will be required to provide either your residential address and your business address, or you'll be required to provide both of them.
So without this particular coordinate system that's going to give me my digital address, if I tell them that I live in, let's say, H16 McCarthy Hill.
No.
But the streets are known. H16 is known.
No.
My house is numbered.
We are moving. It is accepting your digital address. Having your digital address is a precursor to obtaining a Ghana card. Okay.
And how is that a superior system to what is currently accepted in my area?
Because not all the properties have been named. Okay. Not all the properties are named with the physical addresses. Okay. I mean, today there may be a plot of land. Tomorrow somebody will decide that he's going to divide that plot of land into 5 or into 6. And the physical address may not be relevant anymore. Okay? I mean, somebody may decide to move away from his residence and move somewhere else.
What's required is not an update of what the information was previously. So if all of these changes happen, it's not updating the information that's in the system. That's the most important thing to do.
Well, it's not just about updating the information that's in the system, because, for example, if your data was captured previously, you captured, I think it is 4 fingers, and this time you have to capture 10 fingers. So it's not, you have to provide additional information.
Okay, because my quandary is with the fact that we spend money putting together a street naming system, which makes it possible for my street name to get to my house number.
Let me explain to you.
Yes.
With your digital address, you don't necessarily need the street name, okay? Because if you are doing a navigation and you are online and you are getting the directions, if the street is named and is captured on the map, it will say take a left on this street. It will mention the name of the street, Neokole Street. Move 200 meters and take a right onto street ABC. If the street is not named, it would tell you move 200 meters and take a right, move 100 meters, you have arrived at your destination.
Okay.
However, if the street is named, it makes the navigation experience much better.
I get you.
So we believe, and we are working towards having a navigation experience that takes into consideration all the streets that have been named. We know that the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has done a lot of work, and that is why at the level of cabinet, His Excellency the President and the Minister of Communications has been tasked by cabinet to lead the formation of the interministerial committees. There are two interministerial committees that are working as far as this national project is concerned. One is looking at the security of the system, to make sure that the security of the system is not compromised, to make sure that the privacy of data of citizens and residents is not compromised.
We'll come to that particular issue.
Yeah, I just want to explain.
I just
want to explain what the two interministerial committees are doing. And the second interministerial committee is looking at harmonizing the work that the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development have done as far as the street naming is concerned. So in the immediate to long term, in the medium to long term, what is going to happen is that the systems are going to be harmonized. So there's going to be a mapping system that is harmonized with the street naming system. Okay, so you not get the experience that...
So the current naming system is not redundant?
It's not, no, it's not. It can't be.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yes. So now you have your digital address. You can get your national card, your Ghana card. You can request for utility companies to do whatever survey that they want to provide their services to your house. If there's a security company that you want, you don't physically have to go and carry somebody there. You go to their service center, you get a digital address, they can give you your coordinates, they can take your coordinates, and then they can say, okay, to provide this service, this is what it is. If you want water, you want electricity, you want broadband access, fiber to home, I mean, you want the bank account to be opened, you have your utility bill that shows that this is the name of the person.
I guess
the person's digital
my only
address.
difficulty is that the things you mentioned, I have them. I have water service, I have electricity.
But you are not. You are not the only Ghanaian. And
I get your point. But I'm just trying to think what percent of the population currently.
Listen.
Do not have access to these utilities that they would need the particular address system to get it.
Listen, there's a lot of wastage that happens even in terms of the distribution of the bills. Okay?
Wastage?
Yes. There's a lot of inefficiencies that happen even with distribution of the bills. Okay?
And in this case, you're talking about the postpaid for water or electricity?
Yes. Postpaid for water, postpaid for electricity, okay? Even property rates, okay? Now, if all the properties are captured on the digital address, it becomes much more efficient for people to be able to, or for the service providers to be able to provide better service. We've also talked about emergency services. If you, for example, want a parcel to be delivered to your home, okay, you don't need to call somebody from home to come and pick it up. You can call GhanaPost, and you can give GhanaPost your digital address, okay, and then for a fee, GhanaPost will deliver this parcel for you. If you're doing from office to office, it will be delivered for you, okay? If you're opening bank accounts, and don't forget that we said the economy needs to be formalized. There's a lot of economic activities that is taking place that is not captured. And we are doing a lot of cash transactions. At the moment, the number of banked accounts is about 11 million, whereas the number of mobile money accounts is about 22 million. So in moving towards formalizing the economy, we need to make sure that we can meet the requirements that the mobile network operators and the banks require for people to open accounts to be able to do these electronic transactions, okay? And this would actually open up. The other nice part of it is that now the tax collector knows where you work, he knows where you stay, he knows what kind of business that you're doing, he knows you better, okay? And so as every citizen becomes responsible, okay,
I'm not sure for many people having to be known by the tax collector is really an exciting thing for them.
I think if we want development to happen, if we want free SHS to continue,
I see.
Okay, if we want NHIS to work properly, if we want the roads in the communities to be done, then we all need to do the responsible thing and pay our taxes. It's not a nice to do. You are required by law to pay your taxes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a matter of people they're not going to be happy about it. There's a law. Okay, and so
it sounds that this is more to the interest of government doing its work than me, the ordinary person, having to benefit from the system.
I've mentioned about emergency services. I've mentioned about utility companies. I've mentioned bank accounts. There's so much dispute about people who owns what
But
property.
these services are being given to people without the system you're talking about. Yeah, I get you.
We've spoken. There's a lot about property, landed property. So many disputes about landed property. Lands Commission now would have the digital address, and the digital address is locked to a property. The ownership cannot be disputed. Okay, I mean, so it's not just about creating a platform for the benefit of government. It's a platform that is creating the right ecosystem, okay, to be able to formalize the economy and to be able to digitize the economy.
So if I have, let's say, a land at OEB,
yeah,
there's no project I have in terms of building something on that particular land in the near future. Can I go and take this particular digital address?
Yes. Yes.
Of the land space?
Yes, you stand at the place that you think is going to be the gate and you take it. You see, the thing is that when you take your digital address, whoever is looking for you can come to that place and find you. It's not something in a vacuum.
But that would that validate ownership? Because clearly anybody can also stand there and
validation of ownership includes the registration process with the Lands Commission.
But you said that properties, and that's why I brought in the part of the land.
Yes.
And the
so once listen.
Once I do it, and any other person can do it there.
For example, once you have a land in a certain area, in a certain district, okay, obviously the district assembly should know that this land belongs to Mr. A for the purpose of planning and laying out the community. You understand?
I get
They
you.
know that this property belongs to Mr. A. Lands Commission will know that this property belongs to Mr. A. Okay, the squatter who is staying on that property, looking after that property for you, would have an address.
Yeah.
You understand? So that is the bigger picture.
Okay, I get your point on that particular basis. Now, let's talk about the concerns of security. In fact, earlier this week, we heard some say that, don't worry, we can hack the system. We cannot get access to your data, contrary to the, we are told by Vocacom that they promised the executive president that nobody could get access to the data, and that in tandem with the data protection out, people were very safe in this case. The fear is that some IT gurus have been able to at least access the system. They've not only accessed the system, the reference is being made to one Desmond Israel.
What makes you feel that what Desmond Israel is saying is true? Have you seen a demonstration where Desmond Israel has hacked the system? Okay, in the first place, hacking in Ghana is illegal.
Even ethical hacking?
There's nothing like ethical hacking. Okay, hacking per the laws of the country is illegal.
Which provision of the law?
There are vulnerability tests, okay, that are undertaken in a controlled environment. Okay, so with this system, you remember that I said that there's an interministerial committee that is responsible for making sure that the security of the platform is not compromised, and making sure that the privacy of citizens and residents' data is not compromised.
So can the system be hacked?
Listen, this is technology. Everything is possible. However,
the system can be hacked.
This is technology. Everything is possible. However,
you are just refusing to use the words. Yes, it can be hacked.
Why? Listen, you're not giving me the opportunity to answer the question.
I get you. I'm just asking.
Can I answer your question? Yes. Can I answer the question?
I'll prefer first and foremost, and yes or no, before you can proceed with the answer. Can the system be hacked?
If you give me the opportunity to answer your question, you get the answer that you want. Okay.
Very much so.
This is technology. Everything is possible with technology if the right precautions are not taken. We believe that we have taken adequate precautions. We have servers, okay? We have different layers of security. We have different layers of firewalls. We are working with some of the most robust IT security institutions to protect the integrity of the network. And there are regular vulnerability tests that are taking place.
And this is because Vocacom said so.
This is because I am aware, Okay, even today there was a security meeting that took place.
Okay.
Okay.
And the system was stress tested and actually
It's so far so good. We don't have any reason to believe that there has been any compromise in the security of the system. We don't have any reason to believe that there has been any exposure of citizens or residents' data to anybody who is not supposed to have access to this data.
okay. Were there independent, what they call it, IT people there to do this particular assessment?
Well, I don't. When you say
government,
when
I
you
mean,
say when you say
somebody outside
independent,
government or Vocacom.
well, I mean, government works with National Information Technology Agency as far
Yes.
as technology in Ghana is concerned. Okay, there's an interministerial committee that includes the team from the National Cybersecurity team, from the team from National Security,
Okay.
from the team from NATA, from the team from Ministry of Communications, from the team from GhanaPost, from the team from Data Protection Commission, the team from the developers, okay, and the external recognized security entities that are supporting to protect the integrity of the network of the platform.
Do you know which external entities you're talking about?
Well, obviously, you don't expect me to.
Because you made reference to it.
No, but you don't expect me to come and say that these are the security companies that we are working with. Nobody does that in IT.
I get your point.
Yeah.
Now, let me move on to actually get to know the other controversies to do with this particular, is it 2.5 million, what they call it, Ghana's, not 3.5, no, $2.5 million contract that you're talking about.
What is the controversy there?
The controversy there is, how did Vocacom get this contract?
Very, very interesting. There was a request for proposals, or what we call the RFP, that was advertised in the dailies, I think sometime in April this year. 27 companies expressed interest in providing a solution. Out of the 27 that expressed interest, when the initial assessment was done, 6 of them were considered to be meeting the requirements of the request for proposal. And so these 6 were invited to buy the tender documents. It went through the entire procurement process. The Attorney General was involved, the Minister of Finance was involved, the Public Procurement Authority was involved. It went through the entire procurement process. After the technical evaluation and the commercial evaluation of the 6 companies that bought the tender document, Vocacom was found to be the best evaluated bid. And so they went to the contract phase, and then they had the contract.
Forgive me, can you just refresh my mind the criteria that was used to select Vocacom?
Well, I can give you the RFP. I think I sent the RFP to your producers. So if you refer to the RFP, you get the criteria that was used.
Okay, but let me also be clear on this particular one. So at no point in time was single source considered.
I don't know where that's coming from.
I just want to be clear on that. It was not.
No.
Okay.
I've told you that there were 27
Yes.
companies that expressed interest. There were 6 companies that moved to the next stage of buying the tender document. And I can give you the names of the companies that bought the tender document. Sedges, Miltia, Vocacom, Facil, Harley Reid, Universal Cyber Link. These were the 6 companies that bought. In terms of the pricing, I mean, the highest bid was 172 million Ghana cedis.
Was Vocacom the lowest bid?
It was the lowest competitive bid. You see, you don't look at just the commercial bid. You look at the technical and the commercial, and you do an evaluation, okay? And Vocacom, even from the financial point of view, were the lowest, yes. And don't forget that this $2.5 million, it has a 17.5% component of VAT. Okay, it includes the cost of the analysis that is being done at the back end. It includes the training that is being offered. It includes the servers, the firewalls that are being built into the system to protect the integrity of the system. It includes the license fee for Ghana. It includes
license fee for what?
For Ghana, because you know there's a universal platform called Asasi GPS. That was developed by Vodacom.
Okay.
What Ghana did is Ghana bought a license for Ghana. Okay. When the solution was presented, we bought a license for Ghana. And so, yes, there's a license fee. Every app that is developed, there's a license fee for the user.
I get you.
Okay. So there's a license fee for Ghana.
So license fee, yes. And which other license fees are you talking about?
There's a license fee for using the Google Maps for the first year. Okay. There's a bit of the marketing activity that is there as well.
Are they the only license fees we are paying for?
Well, there are different license fees that are being paid for. There's Google license fee that is being paid for.
Yes, you mentioned that particular one.
There's as and when the developer decides to use another vendor to support their license fees that are going to be paid.
Are we paying for Microsoft license too?
Well, I don't know those details, but that is neither here nor there because it doesn't present any additional cost to government.
No, I just want to know because I just want to envisage the cost structure in the much more comprehensive.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And instead by giving me a part of it. So
yes.
I'm asking specifically whether we are paying for Microsoft.
I'm not in a position to confirm whether What I know is that there's a Google Map license fee. There's a license fee for GhanaPost GPS for Ghana. Okay, there are the servers that are being paid for. Of course, if the servers are running on Microsoft, then yes, you pay a license fee for Microsoft. There are firewalls.
You don't know for a fact whether we are paying license fee for Microsoft.
I cannot immediately confirm.
How about SQL servers? Are we paying for them?
I don't know. I don't get the point that you are making.
I'm asking for details on this.
Well, I've given you the details that I have.
The people of this republic actually.
I've given you the details. I've given you the details that I have.
When I ask specific ones, it's because I want to know about
I've given you the details that I have, sir.
But I didn't give me on SQL servers.
I'm not aware whether we are paying for servers.
And okay, I don't know a specific case of SQL servers.
Ray,
yes,
sorry, I don't know the specific servers that are being used.
Okay, but you're not privy to the details of the contract, are you?
I don't get the point that you're getting.
I'm saying that if you're privy to the details of the contract,
yes,
you would perhaps get to know exactly what we are paying for.
If I have the information, I'll give it to you. If you want additional information, I'll get it out for you.
Okay, so in this case, you can let us know whether we are paying for Microsoft licenses.
I can get it.
You can get us know whether we are paying for SQL licenses too.
Just write down any information that you want.
Very much so.
I'll fish it out for you.
And I get your point. I actually will get to appreciate that too. I'm giving to understand we have to take a break. When we're back, we'll be talking about other interesting parts of this particular GhanaPost GPS structure and looking into the future. What we hope to do with that, which is the national ID systems and the other things all coming together as we seek to plan. Well, folks, after this break, we'll continue our conversation on the very controversial GhanaPost GPS, which is supposed to get you a digital address, without which you may not be able to get the national ID. You're welcome back to our front. My guest today is the Deputy Minister in the Communications Ministry. He is here to help us appreciate and understand the GhanaPost GPS system. That system that's giving you a digital address wherever you find yourself. And if you want to believe the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, even in the middle of revolt, you can actually be traced in that particular case. So we get into putting the better perspective and answer the unanswered questions in this particular directive. And that's what I've been doing for like the last 40 minutes that we have in this conversation. We're taking it to a different game, getting to know what's going to happen going into the future. So first and foremost, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here. And the Honorable George Anda would explain to us at this point in time, how many people have so far downloaded this app?
I think as of yesterday, there were about 170,000 unique downloads, and the conversion into actual request for addresses was about 90%.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I mean, people understand the system that well.
Yes.
But I get the sense that the downloads have slowed down. Do you get the same impression?
Why no?
Because I was told that in the first week, almost 100,000 people did.
I don't think that the downloads have slowed down. I mean, it is.
How many weeks has it been since it was introduced?
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
For every campaign, the objectives of a campaign.
Okay.
For this campaign, the first 4 weeks was supposed to be used to create awareness and to educate the citizenry and Ghanaians. What we expected was that the actual downloads would have happened further down the line when the peak of the awareness and education bit of the campaign has sort of been seeded. And then you get the conversions that you want.
Okay.
So we are actually running ahead of the targets that had been set
Oh, really?
for this. Yes.
What was your
And
target for this particular time?
I'm saying that this is supposed to be the awareness and education phase of the
Okay,
campaign.
interesting.
Okay, but we are hitting targets that have been set for the actual call to action or the actual action time for the citizens and the residents. I think that the fact that almost every major media house is talking about this presents a great opportunity for us to drive further education. And what we realize is that whenever we have the opportunity to explain further on platforms like yours, the number of downloads that we see on the network is sort of peaks.
Okay.
And so there's a lot that we have to do in terms of educating the citizenry and clearing some of those misconceptions or some of this mischief. Okay, and so far, I think so far is going very well. I have launched a number of campaigns in my life. I've launched a number of products in my life. I've been involved in launching a number of products, and I don't think that there's any product or service that I have been part of launching that has delivered or has achieved this amount of top-of-mind awareness, this amount of interest, this number of downloads or offtake, okay, in my life. And I think that we should be celebrating the successes of this app. We should be celebrating the developers of this app, and we should be happy that we've got a Ghanaian company that has been able to
190,000 that you make reference to so far downloaded. Does the statistic take account of those who have deleted these apps from their phone?
Well, if it's downloaded, it's downloaded.
Okay, so I mean, there's no way we get to know whether I've deleted the app or not.
But the thing is that if you download and then you generate an address, okay, for the purpose of generating the address, then it means that your app is still on. Okay. There are other indices like who is using emergency services. There are other indices like who is using the app for navigation. But those ones will come down the line when you have much more traction on the platform. It's early days to go into those details of those specifics. But for the initial targets, awareness on the platform, what is talkability? There was a teaser that was run. The Jack Where Are You people has there been association between the Jack Where Are You campaign and then the GhanaPost GPS? Is there a dissociation between Asasi GPS and then GhanaPost GPS? And for all these parameters, we're getting the positive takes.
Okay, that's interesting. So if I'm clear in my mind, you don't know the number of people that might have deleted this particular app.
Well, I can get it if I want. I can get it if you want it. Okay. But I don't have those figures immediately with me.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, and the negative campaign about the lack of security or the, let's say, possible interruption or breach of this particular app and its security system, do they affect this particular level of download and possible use?
Well, you see, like I said, we are actually running ahead of the targets that were set. So it's neither here nor there. I mean, but yes, it has created a situation where we have stepped up our education campaign. Okay, and so you realize that we've been a bit more visible, a bit more available to address some of these concerns, because it means that there's some interest that has been generated, and we need to be able to address the concerns that citizens or residents may have on the platform.
Are there phases of rollouts in this particular campaign?
Yes.
Which phase are we now?
Well, we are in the awareness. We are in the awareness phase.
Okay.
Okay. You remember that I talked about the USSD and the SMS,
which you say is supposed to come
which
on
will
board
come
in
up.
the next week or two.
I spoke about the Feet on Street team that are working with the National Commission for Civic Education.
When is that going to happen?
I think that team is going to go ahead of the National Identification Authority team. You know, the National Identification Authority is going to roll out the issuance of the Ghana card in zones and in regions. Okay, so that team is going to be working with the National Identification Authority team, and they're going to move, I think it's 3-4 weeks ahead of the National Identification team. So once the National Identification team roll out their timetable and they are supposed to be in a particular area at a point in time, the GhanaPost GPS and the NCC team would move ahead to be doing the mopping up and generating the addresses for citizens and residents.
Okay, now let me be clear in my mind. Is there also a plan for the improvement and enhancement of this particular system?
It's a day-to-day thing. It's technology. I mean, every day there's an opportunity for upgrades to happen on the system. You use your phone. Okay, yeah. I'm sure on a weekly basis you get a message that there's a new version that's on your phone, and so
I've not seen a new version of the GhanaPost GPS on my phone.
Well, is the platform.
Is it automatic?
No, listen, it's the platform. The updates are happening on the platform.
Okay.
Because the system doesn't sit on your phone.
Okay.
You understand? The system doesn't sit on your phone. So the updates are happening on the platform. I know. I think that there have been about 2 patches that have been done. I mean, recently. Yeah.
I was tempted to ask you to fix exactly what, but I know you'll not tell me.
Oh, I can. I mean, I think that there were some people that were experiencing code invalid or something like that. They were not being able to generate their digital addresses, and so there was a patch that was done to fix that. I know that there were some people that were also using the Windows platform that were not being able to generate their digital addresses, and that was also fixed.
Okay, there are those who have concerns about exactly what components of the digital address system are within the scope of the current project and what must be addressed outside of this particular scope. Is that clear now?
What, can you be specific?
Specifically, they're saying that and I read the RFP, it gives me an indication of a very broad project. Have they delivered what we expected them to deliver?
So far, yes.
Everything?
It's
in tranches, so
as at this time, what we require to be done is being done.
Okay, yes. So
Yes.
in a year from now, what are we supposed to expect from this particular system?
In a year from now, we expect that everybody will have their digital address. We expect that you would have tagged your property with your digital address. You would have your national ID card that can recognize, or that would show your name and your digital address. We expect that you can transact financial, you can participate in financial transactions seamlessly. We expect that the economy will be formalized. We expect that everybody will be paying their taxes, doing the responsible thing. We expect that we're moving towards a smart city where you can use public transport, you can use use weather updates, you can use every bit of technology to have a better lifestyle, a better experience.
Okay, now that's interesting to know. I mean, when is this particular national ID system supposed to be coming on board? When are we going to get registered? I know the president actually went through the process.
It's this month. The issuance is starting this month.
This is the first day of the month.
It's starting this month. The month
Which
has
day
30
in the
days.
month?
The month has 30. This month has
Yes,
30 days.
I wanted to be clear which day in the month. Yes.
This month
so that people can look forward to it.
This month has 30 days.
Yes, certainly, and we are in the first day.
Yes,
I just want to know which day so that I can put it on my calendar.
The campaign will break out.
It's unclear. We don't know yet, or there's a date that's already stipulated.
I know that we're in a hurry, but some things we
need to get to know so that I can plan our lives around it.
That's why I said the campaign will break.
When is the campaign starting?
The campaign will break.
No, but the Honourable Member of Parliament should be able to give information to me and my listeners out there on this one.
Listen.
Exactly which day can I go and land at the NIA office, or they'll come into me for this registration to happen?
I have told you it will start this month. And
yes, this month is very broad. It's clear-cut 30 days.
Raymond, with all due respect,
Yes.
okay, I think that you should respect the way that we do things.
I agree perfectly.
Okay, so
but,
I have given you.
But I'm also into information gathering.
Raymond, I have given you. I have said that it will start this month.
Is the date determined already?
I have said that to start this month. I don't think that you should be pushing it. Let us take it that it will start this month.
That's interesting to know. Now, my attention was drawn to another important thing. There's a broad talk about digital migration.
That's
what happened to digital migration? What happened to that particular talk?
It's ongoing.
Ongoing?
Yeah.
At what stage are we now?
Yeah, well, there are 42 sites that have almost been completed. I think in the next 6 weeks, we are connecting the sites to the national grid. As of now, they are all running on genset. So we'll connect them to the national grid. We'll do the coverage testing. We'll do the gap filling. And then we'll do the piloting. And I think that from April next year, we would have seeded enough set-up boxes for us to be able to do a pilot. And then by the end of Q2 next year, we should be able to say that we've gone live with a digital migration system.
I'm left with a couple of minutes to run up on this particular conversation.
Have I answered all your questions?
No,
that's what happens anytime that you guys bring me here. I answer all your questions and you don't have anything else to answer.
No, there are outstanding issues that ought to be clarified.
Feel free.
What's the problem with snow code?
I don't understand your question.
I mean, Vocacom apparently had an arrangement with snow code.
Are you talking on fact?
Yes.
Are you talking on fact?
Yes, the arrangement I know.
How you know? Show me the agreement with Vocacom and snow code.
No, the arrangement as in.
Show me an agreement. You've heard is not doesn't mean it's a fact.
I have heard the Vocacom CEO say that right before my own eyes.
Say that what?
That they had an arrangement. They spoke to the developers of Snowcode in the quest to actually put together this particular program. I mean, Snowcode participated in a certain kind of contest, and that's where they picked them up from and wanted to have some form of arrangement with them.
And then
that's
what?
Why I'm asking.
And hold on, finish that, and then what?
And
if you had the Vocacom CEO finish what he said on that.
I'm unclear in my mind what you want me to
said
finish.
You are aware that you know for fact. Okay, you had the Vocacom CEO
say that you have engaged them. They spoke
you heard him say that you have engaged them.
Yes.
I would challenge you on that.
No,
I'm not aware. I don't speak for Vocacom.
Yes, I speak for Vocacom is actually the developers of this particular.
But I don't speak for Vocacom.
GPS.
I don't speak for Vocacom.
Yes.
Okay. If you want something from Vocacom, go to Vocacom. I will speak on GhanaPost GPS. I'm not aware that there's any reason to believe that there's any contractual arrangement between Vocacom and GhanaPost and GhanaPost. Neither am I aware of anything between Vocacom and Snowcode. If you have facts to that matter, if you bring it, we'll look at it.
Okay, that's interesting to know. And maybe finally on this particular...
I have a question to ask, if I may.
Me?
Yes, I have a question to ask.
Okay, so I'll give you time to ask me the question I'm interested in answering
I think you need a lot of time, so let me ask you now.
No, I'm just asking the very final question on this particular one. I was interested in getting to know how the digital migration is going. I've just been prompted to know, there was some leeway given to those who breached the, what they call it, NCS regulations, the radio stations. Have they started paying?
I think there's a lot of engagement that is taking place.
What does that mean? Have they started paying?
There's a lot of engagement that is taking place.
I don't understand the engagement. Does it mean they started paying?
The issue, if you listened to the reprieves that were granted by the minister, the focus is not about the payment. The whole focus is about the authorizations being rectified. Okay. So the reprieve, the financial, the commercial reprieves that we're giving, we're giving on condition that the documentation, for the authorizations are done properly. So as far as that process is concerned,
they've started working on that.
Yes.
Have any of them completed that process?
Oh, I think a few are making good progress. Yes.
None has completed the process so far.
I'm not in a position to tell you that.
I just wanted to know.
Well,
you are in the position. You are a deputy minister with CS with information.
At the right time, at the right time, the minister will tell you what you need to know. But I have a question for you.
Okay, because I'm running up, I can take your question. Nobody's asking me a question. I'll be very lenient.
You've been saying that there are challenges with the cost of this platform.
The cost.
The 2.5. There are
yes,
challenges.
some have raised questions about that particular one.
What in your mind is a fair cost for? You've read the RFP.
Yes.
What in your mind is a fair value? Okay, for government to have paid?
I will answer that question, but I'm told I have a few seconds left on this particular conversation to do. The Honorable Deputy Minister of Communications, Nyei Dojanda, has been my guest on today's discussion on the GhanaPost GPS. I hope most of your questions were answered, and now you can download if you still think that is a very good platform for you in this particular case.
I think as a responsible citizen, you should encourage people to download. It's not
the
bit about if you think but you don't have to add that bit to it.
Okay, so they say I should tell you to download.
You should endorse it. You should endorse it. You're a good man. You should endorse it. Support
please go ahead and make. Anyway, that's where we actually tied an Irish ribbon on today's edition of UpFront. Thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow we're coming away with another edition of UpFront. My name is Raymond Alqua.